Hi, I'm Louis Tomlinson. I just finished my interview with the Zach Sang Show. We spoke about the album, we spoke about the tour, spoke about loads of different stuff. Go check it out.
Hello, beautiful human. I'm Zach. That's Stanley. Welcome to the studio. Louis Tomlinson.
Hello, hello. Great round of applause that was, lads. Nice.
Starting off strong.
Yeah, come on. We're excited to have you.
Yeah, it's great, man. It's great. It's great. Do you know what? There's been a few weird ones like that on this promo run. Like on one of them, I walked in and the woman introduced me and she was like, "Can we give him a standing ovation?" I swear to God, it's the eggiest fucking shit in my life. I just had to stand there like, hello.
But by the way, like, you don't really ask somebody to give you a standing ovation. It just happens.
True. Very true. Yeah.
Like people are just, they're moved to do it.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a good week though, man. I did a few of them like album listening parties this week, so me fans had a chance to listen to a couple of tunes. So it's been my first time where, because I've had this album for like at least like 9 months now, so it's now been the first time that I've actually kind of got an idea of what people make of these tunes that I've had for so long.
9 months you've had the album, but when do you get the name Faith in the Future? Because it appeared first on banners in the crowd.
Yeah.
Did that inspire the name at all?
No. I will take full credit for this one. It's so basically in lockdown, for whatever reason, that phrase found its way onto my lap and it spoke to me in a certain way. I wanted this album to feel more hopeful than my last record, and I think it does that from the off in that statement. But the reason that the fans had made banners and stuff of it is because about I want to say 9 months ago, but not everything happened 9 months ago. But about 9 months ago, roughly, I put out on my social media, on Twitter, I just put that phrase out, Faith in the Future, in isolation with no context. And I just felt there was this kind of magic around that phrase. So I kind of built the album around that phrase.
What gave you, did you see tangibly hope? Like what?
I think that's another reason why I like the title, because I'm not gonna lie, like it kind of defines my own individual journey, really, personally, professionally. I've had to have faith in the future, my own future, professionally, personally, whatever that might be.
You also have a kid.
Yes.
When you look at
the future right there.
That's a tangible, physical representation of like your future, society's future.
Yeah. And also, like, it just, you know, I felt like a good time to put something out. When I actually came up with the idea, I'm pretty sure the first time I thought about that phrase, no, I'm certain on this, COVID hadn't happened. And then COVID happened, and it just felt too appropriate. And of course we can focus on the glass half empty if we want to, but why not focus on glass being half full?
I think that's the right approach to life. But did you always look at things like that?
Yeah, I would say I'm pretty lucky. It's not that I have like the inability to worry, but those thoughts never last very long in my head, because there's always been, especially that profession, there's been too much for me to want to prove, or there's so much left for me to achieve. So all those things kind of motivate me on those like down days.
Isn't that a pretty cool thing to actually come to terms with, is that there's so much more for you to achieve?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, given the context of my experience in One Direction. I mean, you know, without blowing our own trumpets, so to speak, you know, we did it all in the band. So like, that's been an interesting thing for me, is kind of redefining what that word success means to me, and what's going to make me ambitious, and what's going to make me happy, and what I need to, you know, what I've got left to achieve, like I just said.
Usually I go into the, like, how do you define success question later on, but I think a lot of it is tangible in the choices and the moves you made when putting together this next body of work, especially as I remember our last interview. You, even down to how you curated your writing rooms, you didn't curate it with writers, you chose artists, and there's a difference there, correct?
Definitely. And this is, you know, this is me speaking Stereotypically, of course, there are other examples of other professional songwriters who are going to give you everything you want. But through my experience, 9 times out of 10, when you work with professional songwriters, it's their livelihood. So that means that the more singles they get, the better off they're going to be. So sometimes you do feel like the air has almost been stained before you've even walked in, because the intentions are different. The intentions are about finding singles and about, so not just finding a single that's going to be really commercially successful, so you're going to get good money off it, etc., etc. Whereas when you work with artists, people aren't thinking about that. And obviously we have the luxury to do that because our job is broader than just the writing, and I understand that we have the luxury to do that. But at the same time, it means that every song, be it a 2-minute album track or something like Bigger Than Me that kind of feels and sounds like a single, every song gets the attention it deserves. And that's what I've kind of really benefited from on this record, is it just feels like there's so much more soul to it. And I don't mean that in terms of the genre, I mean there's so much more life and honesty because of that.
As you look back to Walls, how have you grown as a writer?
I think I've just got more confident, and I've definitely got better as a writer, but I think more confident as an artist, and more a better understanding of who I am
as a person.
As the two are intertwined.
Yeah.
They really are. Like, as a person, as an artist, I think I had a pretty good grasp on who I am as an individual, but it does become a little bit more complex when you're thinking about who you are as an artist, because you're thinking, there is a process in your head where you're trying to place yourself based on past experience, like myself, or also you're looking to other people in the industry and thinking, well, where do I sit amongst that? And it doesn't really work like that. You kind of got to find those things out for yourself, if that makes sense. Is
it hard to come to the right way to phrase this, I think, is like, it's a very mature thing to understand that the only person you should be comparing yourself is yourself.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
Is there a moment that you realized that? Have you fully realized it?
I think so.
You can also forget it too.
I think so. Well, yeah, I do think those things, it's like, and the same, I could say the same about kind of trusting my gut. It's a daily, not a daily struggle, but a daily conversation, those things. You've got to stay on top of those things. But I will say, where I didn't expect to feel this comfortable musically, as a performer, as a songwriter. The last time I sat here when we did that Walls interview, I feel like there's been quite a lot of growth since then. I feel like a slightly different artist, different person.
Can you see it in your stage show?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so. And actually, that was the missing piece of the puzzle for me. Yes, now I'm finally confident about who I am as an artist. And that took some working out. But actually, where the confidence has come from is the consistency of show after show after show after show, and it leaves no room for self-doubt. And I'm so blessed with my amazing crowds that, when you have that many shows and you have such a great atmosphere at those shows, like I said, there's no room for any other thing other than kind of patting yourself on the back and going, well done.
You also command the room. You feel like you're performing just to one person, but there's a massive room of people who are there connected by love and acceptance.
Yeah. And
completely and totally judgment free. I saw you at the YouTube Theater and it was superb. Really fucking amazing.
Do you know which night you came on? I think it was the weekend. So did you think you came on the Saturday or the Sunday?
I think I came on the Saturday. I think Claudia will remember.
I'm pretty sure that was the show that my son was at. Anyway, special show, man. Really special show. That was amazing.
I mean, obviously that's top of mind, right? That your son is there.
Say that again.
The fact that your son is in the venue. Do you think about that while you're on stage?
Massively.
Yeah.
That was probably across the 80 odd, and that's not a flex, the 80 odd dates I played this year, I'd say it's probably the most nervous I've been.
Because
and
he
the
was there?
irony is, like, you know, bless him, he's such a good lad, and he was so excited, and he brought a little banner, and also he normally is in bed by like 7 o'clock every night, but the show finishes at about 10:30, 11. He stayed up throughout it, absolutely loving it. So obviously I know he's gonna have a good time, but in the back of my mind I'm like, this is the first time my son's gonna see me perform, like, I better deliver, you know what I mean? I need to like a hero up there. So I can't remember, and also I got really emotional as well the first time I kind of locked eyes with him in the room, because that room's big but it's still like small enough for you to be able to see, and that was emotional, man. That was probably one of the most emotional times I've had on stage, really. It was amazing. He just beaming, he was so excited to be there.
Oh, he's gonna remember that forever.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did he give you a review afterwards? Did you ask him how you were?
I did, and I think he just kind of shrugged his shoulders and was like, yeah. But it's funny because I remember having a similar experience with my younger sisters, and young kids, their understanding of all this world it's interesting, because it's only now Freddie's been to that show that he understands that not everyone's dad does what I do, because it's always been normal to him, and it was the same with my younger sisters. It was always normal to them. It's not until they kind of get amongst, like, you know, other friends and other families that they understand that maybe this is a little bit more abnormal than, you know, the average life.
Does seeing him in that venue help add to your definition of success today?
I mean, subconsciously, yes. When you ask the question, of course. But instinctively, I've always been pretty good at kind of, there's a split in the middle. There's my professional life and there's my personal life. And success, although the word will overlap across the two, it's not in those moments, like, it trying to find the right words, but it doesn't really. When I go, for example, when on this tour I've just done, we'll do like a maybe 6-week run on, like, maybe over Europe, and then I've had my work hat on the whole time, and then I'll come back and I'll come spend a couple of weeks with Freddie, and it does feel like I kind of take that work hat off, put my dad hat on, and the two of them are kind of separate, and I kind of love it for that reason.
I think it's needed too.
Yeah,
it's also healthy.
Yeah, well, true. Yeah. But it gives me a moment in my life that, you know, fortunately, unfortunately, depending on your interpretation, there isn't a load of normality in my life. So those moments, I cherish those moments, you know, like those dead normal moments of just taking him to the park, which, by the way, I fucking love, because people watching over here in LA is a sport, man. It's fucking funny, that shit. So, like, you know, I'll take my son, and my best mate, he works with me and he's out here with me as well, so we'll go together and we'll take him to the park. Some of the conversations you're privy to, like some of these, like, young parents over here, they are just, I don't want to say they're mad, but they do chat some funny shit. So I get some mild entertainment out of it as well.
I'm assuming you don't fit in with the dad group.
Do you know what? I swear to God, like, maybe, fucking hell, it was dead-eye pitch, isn't it? If there's like maybe 40 parents in the park, there's only ever really 2 or 3 dads that I see there. But no, I'm not in the dad crew yet, waiting to be invited.
I mean, you are in your 30s now. We're getting up there.
And I've got grey hair, so I might as well just join the club. Yeah. I'm an old man. I never wanted to say this.
But you keeping a division between home and show and work, that does also allow you to be a rock star, and
it does.
You are doing a rock and roll show up there.
Yeah, well, that's another good thing about it, definitely. Yeah, man, this tour has been, like, the shows obviously have been amazing, the crowds have been amazing, but actually everything else that comes with that, there's been a lot of drinking this year, but loads and loads of fun at the same time, man. In my opinion, obviously it's about balance to a degree, but that's how touring should be done, man. It's got to be a bit boozy. It's got to.
The confidence you're exuding, it shows. I see photos of you on the barricade.
Vodka Red Bull's powerful, man.
You allow people to touch you.
Yeah, oh yeah, man. Sometimes it gets pretty crazy.
You've been choked.
Yeah, do you know what? That happened at like one show, and then like I swear, like every other show now, someone's got their hand on my neck. It got a little bit weird when someone grabbed me dick one show, and like that was a little bit extra. That was a bit too much. But
A little bit?
yeah. But I'm not gonna lie, like even when, like, I don't even know if I should be advocating this, but like without going specific into whatever they do when I'm down there, the feeling that I get when I walk out for the first song and I see the crowd for the first time, that's like 1/10 of the feeling of what I feel when I go down into the pit, because it's just like, it's like that feeling just kind of bottled up and it just gets kind of thrown over you, and there's so much energy, there's so much like intensity in those moments. By far my favourite part of the show.
It is gross seeing people stick their fingers in your mouth.
That was weird. You seen that? Yeah, man. Oh yeah, I think I watched the video. I think I thought that was the mic or something. Like I looked a little bit confused in that moment. I don't even remember it. That's another thing. Once you're down there, it all happens so quick and it's so chaotic. Like I remember watching that video back. I don't even remember it happening.
But that energy does make you it changes perspective as it relates to music and impact and like really understanding who you're performing to. It is wild.
Definitely, yeah. Not quite got round to fully immersing myself in the crowd yet, but maybe next tour.
I mean, to be honest, they're getting very personal and handsy. Like, watch your hands, like a little bit. Right? Like that's.
Yeah, no, it gets intense. I will say across South America, different gravy. Like it was amazing / scary at the same time. Like, yeah, incredible. I had a shirt ripped off me. My shirt, nice fucking Burberry shirt as well it was. Button up. That was my first mistake. I went with the button up shirt and I went down and they literally just pulled it from me and just completely ripped it to shreds.
That's a weird experience though. It must be different because with One Direction you guys never got to get that close to the crowd, did you?
No, I think that there might, like, I feel like in the earlier days, I personally did do a bit of that. I mean, I don't know on what song. Like, you hardly get down on What Makes You Beautiful to immerse yourself in the pit, but maybe. But yeah, it is. I mean, I could probably count on one hand how many times I had an experience even remotely similar to that. But it's by far the best part of the show, and I've seen some of my fans kind of speculating, like, why does he like that? It looks like scary and intense and whatever, but that's kind of why it's exciting. There is then an element of danger to it that makes it feel really fucking just amazing. And they like I said before, like if you think you understand what a feeling of adrenaline is, like that is like a ×10 in that moment. It's unavoidable. It's on top of you almost.
Rock and roll?
Yeah, man.
Fuck yeah.
Did touring this past album, Walls, did that change your perspective on the music you make moving forward?
Basically what I feel like I did on this tour was I carried the energy of this new album, Faith in the Future, but obviously only had Walls songs to perform, because one thing we realised when we put the set together is there's not a load of tempo on Walls, so my band had to kind of create these interesting live moments. But I would say almost in reverse. I wouldn't say it's kind of influenced the music I was gonna make. Maybe the live moments, maybe being in those live moments and kind of getting a very literal example for what those moments feel like, I'm sure affected me subconsciously within the writing.
There were also songs that you performed on tour that didn't make it to the album.
Yeah.
Like Change.
Yeah.
Why is that not on there?
Do you know what? I'm sure other songwriters can relate to this. I've got this funny feeling about old, in inverted commas, songs, and especially songs that didn't make the cut for something. So Change was in between Walls and Faith in the Future, but I think I wrote Change maybe 2 or 3 months, 4 months maybe after releasing the first record. It just feels like a moment in time. It's not that I don't think it's good enough for this record, because I do, but it also feels like a moment in time. It feels less appropriate to be on this album. It almost acted as like a transitional song between album 1 and 2. Interesting.
So, but like, what was its purpose on tour?
Well, I did a similar thing with one of my songs, Copy of a Copy of a Copy, and and I think originally the intention was just to play something new. I didn't know if it was going to make it on the record or not. But also, there's a lot of bands that I grew up loving Like, that's how they would trial their new music.
Yeah,
that's the
totally.
old school way to trial music. Get a very literal example of, do people like it or do they not? Do you see them moving? Do you see them bopping their head? Does it make them feel something?
And are you taking tally of that while you're doing the song?
You're trying to. I would say that when songs don't hit as well, and there was one on tour that we cut, I can't remember what it was off the top of my head. That's when you feel it, because I'm so blessed to have such an amazing atmosphere 99.9% of the time, and when that dips just 1%, you can kind of feel that on certain songs. Totally. And actually, and the fans may disagree with me on that, but I never felt the same reaction to Change that I did Copy of a Copy. That's why I started to take it out the set, and then in the end, it was never going to make the new record anyway, to be honest. It was a moment in time. Not that I'm done with it, but I feel like I've moved on since then.
So those songs are a moment in time. Are the songs that make up this album more of a timeless air to it, energy to it?
No, I wouldn't say so. There is something about the fact that, because there's other songs, they're like demos that, crossed the first record and the second record, that it's once they don't make the cut that you've made your mind up on them. It's like people have mentioned I've been asked on this kind of promo run, were there songs on Walls that you didn't include in the album that you might include on this one? But, there's a reason they're not on the first record.
No, you sell those to other artists, right?
Exactly. So yeah, I don't really know. I do think it's a moment in time. I don't necessarily have that feeling about... Well, I was going to say I don't have that feeling about Walls, but I do to a certain degree. I think every album is a moment in time. And especially because as artists, we're constantly evolving, constantly growing. From every song you write, you feel like you learn a bit more. So yeah.
When we look back 20 years, 30 years, by we I mean you, and you listen to this album, what do you think you're going to be able to hear? What images will come to your mind?
I think it'll be, if I often try to think of my career as like a 5-album thing. Hopefully longer, but like I'm trying to look into the future long term on that. I think it'll probably be something that I look back on and say that was the moment that I kind of took control myself musically and really owned my own taste.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that redirects everything you do moving forward.
Definitely. Yeah. It changes the intention. Yeah.
So what is the intention of this album?
Honestly, to be able to sell another tour. To be able to carry on touring, and that will be ask me in 3 years, but I doubt that will change. That's the most important thing to me, is to be able to have these amazing live moments. Because why I love tour, there's so much, I don't want to call it bullshit, but there's so much mystery in my life. Let's say a radio station will say, if you come in and do this interview for us, we might play your record. And then they don't,
Oh, yeah. Breaking news.
Or whatever it might be, a press opportunity or conversations with the record label. All these things where there is an element of mystery. And you're hoping that people are going to kind of honour their word. Whereas what's amazing about tour is it's black and white. What you see is what you get. If I come off stage at the end of that show and feel like I gave most of the people in there a good night...
That's it.
Then I've done well, and it's as simple as that. And that's
and it's
what
in your control
love about
too,
it, man. I love that shit. That I'm not trying to read between the lines. There's a very, very literal black and white example of a yes or no answer to the question. Did I have a good night? Did you guys have a good night? Yes, easy as that. Whereas sometimes conversations with radio, record label, etc., you're always reading between the lines,
Oh yeah, and it's a cycle, and they're beating around the bush, and they're never giving you straight answers, and ultimately, it leads to nowhere.
Yeah.
But and it's also, those are things that are out of your control. You can't account for whether or not a radio programmer or some label executive is going to champion something. You don't know. But what you do know is that you can go to X city, you can hang out with X amount of people, you can create an experience that will last these people a lifetime, and an experience that you'll carry with you for a very, very long time.
Yeah, and that, just picking up on what you said there, that, the experience or the memories that people are having at these shows, that's something that this year's taught me, and that's also given me a load of confidence, is because I've been able to look into people's eyes, especially on the front few rows, of what these shows actually mean to them, and what these songs mean to them. And, you know, I haven't necessarily heard it in words, but I felt it from them. And that's given me a load of confidence on this tour. That's something that I didn't really fully understand before this year. I had an idea, but in terms of the level of importance, and you really do feel that, especially since COVID and we all missed live music and we wanted for those moments. Now they came back, and I just felt this, just dead proud, man, dead proud to be able to create these moments for people. Definitely,
that will last them forever, and a community that you've cultivated for a very long time. That really, they're brought together by this music. You're big on interpretation, so you don't want to go into the meanings of records, which I totally respect. As art, you know, just like a painting is in the eyes of the beholder, music is in the ears of the beholder.
Exactly, and what I don't want to spoil the surprise for someone. If someone has got an opinion on what a song means to them, and maybe it actually has a real weight emotionally, and they're like, this is what that means to me. And then if they ask me, and I was like, oh no, it don't mean that, it's just about something random.
Yeah,
I
ruins,
just kill the dream.
Totally.
Do you know what I mean? So I do think it's important to keep those things close to my chest.
A song, well, I want to go to One Direction real quick, and I want to get back into the album. Home. Are you the reason that song ended up coming out? Because it wasn't on an album.
Do you know what? There's a couple of things in my career that the fans just give me credit for. Now, like
you wrote on that record.
You what?
You wrote on that record.
I wrote that. Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's a song that I really like. Did I push for it to be released? I've got a very, very stoner memory. So if I challenge myself for a second, I don't think so. I don't actually think so. Not off the top of my head. I always liked that song. But yeah, that not to my knowledge.
Next question, that is a theory derived from fans. Have you been leaking your own records?
No. No. There was a time around Walls where I actually seriously thought about it, and it was where I kind of wasn't getting my own way creatively. Maybe single conversations weren't going my way, and I just thought, well, maybe I'll just put it out to the world. That's the luxury of having something like social media. Record labels think they're in control, but I could just put it out there if I want to. So I lost my train of thought, but I think I finished what I was saying. The stoner thing threw me. I just became one.
Cannabis has changed my life. It's an amazing drug.
It's fucking amazing, man. It's fucking amazing.
Really, truly. Giving me a whole new lease and perspective on how I operate.
It's great for perspective, man. Especially in my world, like, you need to be able to switch off in my world, man. It's good for that shit, definitely.
It goes back to like being able to leave things at the door sometimes, and like drawing that divide. Because even with like a work-life divide, it allows you to focus on life, which then in turn actually inspires the art you're making.
Definitely. And also those social moments, man, like when you're chilling together, like, it's cool, man. It's lovely.
Community.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Well, Faith in the Future is your sophomore album, but does it really feel like a sophomore album for you?
Educate me. Is sophomore an American term?
Yes, so it means second album.
Second album.
But is it related to education, or am I just assuming that?
No, it is. You're assuming correct.
Okay.
Freshman, sophomore,
Okay.
junior, senior year of high school.
Okay, I'm learning. Okay.
So that's like between middle school and college.
Okay, cool.
Well, they always say there's so much pressure on a sophomore album, but for you, it's almost like it's not. It is, but it isn't.
And it was something I thought about going into the second album, because that is something that people say, and there's obviously a certain pressure with the second record. I think my situation is quite specific, and coming out of a band like One Direction obviously brings its own pressures to then the first record that you make. So it almost felt like in reverse for me. The thing is, with new bands or new acts with their first album, sometimes they'll have a very clear identity, and then you've got to work out on the second record, do I evolve, do I keep the similar identity what I had before, etc. Whereas with me, it kind of went the other way around. I took baby steps on the first record, or at least on half of it, in terms of showing who I want to be as an artist. And it wasn't until I kind of got through that whole process that I thought, it's time to start fully kind of matching what I love in terms of taste in music. So I haven't felt. I felt much more pressure on that first record, definitely. Because there's and that's another thing with the tour. That it's not that I don't feel like I can't lose right now, but if I don't win on radio, if I don't get radio support, You know, if my record label decided tomorrow that they didn't want to be with me anymore, etc., etc. I still have me fans and I still have me tour.
You could literally sell huge venues forever. You could release music forever, own every aspect of your music forever.
Yeah.
If anything, you could, I mean, I can argue to say you'd be in a much better, like you'd make a lot more money.
Yeah. Well, that was something, it was something before I signed with BMG, that was something that I actually thought about kind of going out independently. But what I didn't, it's difficult. You often look to the future, no pun intended, when you're thinking about this. And actually, what I didn't want to do is go out on my own and then be sat on my rocking chair when I'm 60, 70 going, you know, maybe I should have actually had one more go with the major label. And actually my experience today, we'll see how we feel in a couple of years time, but it's been really, really positive with BMG.
Yeah, because you're also amazing and you fucking work, dude.
Yeah.
You know how many people don't work?
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah.
And
I've been here, there and everywhere this week, to be fair.
It's thoughts and prayers.
Thank you.
It is crazy, and the amount of respect I have for you is fucking tremendous.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Because you genuinely don't. There's so many artists who have not even achieved what your pinky toenail has achieved, who would throw hissy fits out the ass to go to any of the cities that you've traveled to in the last week, and like, I just have the most respect. It just means a lot. And also, like, you're cultivating relationships, so they better play your fucking record.
Too right, man.
Well, what we did kind of talk about that before we started. Like, what made you want to go to all these cities around America to promote the music? Because you really don't need to.
Yeah, a combination of things. I didn't expect to have a song like Bigger Than Me. I didn't have one on the first record, and what I mean by that is a real good chance at having a good, in inverted commas, single. You know what I mean? And that's, fucking hell, I just completely lost my train of thought. Sorry, what did you just ask?
I was asking why you decided to go across America.
Right, so two things. So I thought, if we've got this song Bigger Than Me that in my opinion feels like a good play, let's really try and, you know, give it everything we've got. And something I'd done on tour, and I'm going to do on the next tour as well, is try and play more, as well as the main markets, try and play more secondary markets as well. So that was kind of the intention with radio, is kind of getting out to other places. Now the bottom line is, you know, these radio stations that I went down to, everyone's been great and everyone was lovely, but the reason I've gone there is to go and see the fans in those places. So maybe at the majority of those radio stations we did listening parties, so fans were there and they got to listen to 3 or 4 of the new songs. So it's mostly about kind of giving fans who live in one of the secondary markets, in inverted commas as we call it in the industry, just giving them that opportunity. Do I need to do that? Maybe not, but me record label are very good at kind of telling me that I do.
At the end of the day, you've already done it, and it doesn't hurt, and you build relationships with the people who live there, and truly with the radio stations.
Yeah,
it goes a long way.
Yeah, well, yeah, I hope so. But it's. I love traveling anyway. I mean, there's been a lot of traveling in the last couple of weeks, but it's just good to. It's good to see so many different fans in so many different places, definitely. And also make them feel seen. Just because they don't live in New York or LA doesn't mean I'm not going to come down and say hello, you know what I mean?
Have you felt or had the idea or the thought or the want to bring Away From Home to other cities all over the world?
Yeah, so that is the Away From Home, that's the name, mate. It always moves about.
Yeah, okay.
You've obviously not got the pun, have you? We need to work better on that. So we started in London.
Spain.
Then we went to Spain. All right. You do know your shit, fair dude. Then we went to Spain, and then next year, I don't know why, in my head, it's coming to America, not next year, but year after. I don't know why, just instinctively, that's where it's going to be.
Where?
I would love... I don't want to say anywhere, because then if it doesn't go... I have somewhere in mind...
Ooh.
Is it somewhere like we wouldn't expect?
I don't know. I don't know. It depends. for me, the most important thing out of that, the most important thing out of that is that it feels like that it's grown since this year, which is going to be a challenge because it felt pretty big this year. Where we're going to take it next, and all I care about is that it's, you know, easily enough accessible for the fans to get to, and also for the bands to play, and just somewhere visually that looks cool. But not really. I've not really got into exactly where.
How do you curate that set?
I'd love doing that, man. It's so sick. What, putting the set list together?
Yeah.
The band list. What do you call it? Lineup. There we go. Fucking hell. Yeah, it's something it's to put on a festival. It's always been a dream of mine. It's an idea I had in the band. Never quite materialised. Then the first time we did it in London last year was a free gig, and it was essentially just thank you to the fans, but also celebrating live music being back post lockdown and stuff like that. Now, putting the bands together for me, like I said before, something I've always kind of dreamed of being able to do, having that kind of control and putting a show on that's basically just all the stuff that I love. And that's what I did. Instead of kind of really trying to have too much finesse with what I was doing, it wasn't like I was trying to create a lineup that kind of fits in the middle of what I think the fans love and what I love. I just went with fully what I love. And what was amazing about that process was I watched every band in Spain, and the crowd's reaction. A couple of bands, they weren't so sure at the start, but by the end, everyone's moving, and that made me feel really proud, man. It gave me an opportunity to go, here's all the music I love, you know, take it or leave it, and they took it, they loved it.
Dude, tastemaker, but also in the same breath, giving opportunity to bands that really like wouldn't get that type of opportunity to be in front of that size of a crowd.
Maybe not at this stage in their career.
100%.
Exactly, and that's something that it's
really special.
Yeah, man, it's always been important to me, that stuff. I think there's an element of not guilt, but, you know, because I came up in the way that I did through a reality show and obviously in the band, and, you know, I just feel like, you know, it makes sense for me to give back. You know, I of course worked really hard to get to where I've got to, but also there was an element of luck in there, right place, right time, like everyone. So as much as I can kind of help with those things, but also, like I said before, I'm a fan of these bands, so I get to watch them like live for free.
No, it's two birds, one stone.
Yeah, man.
I'm excited for it to come to America. I'm inviting myself. Do you actually have a penguin tattooed on your ass?
I do, yeah.
Let's see it. Just kidding.
I just looked straight at the camera there. I do. Will I show you it on camera? No, but I will say I'm going to speculate. They've got a lot of little ones. I want to say I've got between 30 and 40 little tattoos. I don't regret one of them, except for that penguin on my arse.
Really?
It's the least sexy thing in the world. Whenever comes the time that I do actually take my fucking trousers off, it's not fucking sexy, that shit, man.
Do you tell somebody before you take your pants off, like, hey, just so you know, you're going to see something serious?
A little warning label. Yeah, I probably should, but no, I don't, actually. I don't.
Well, someone's going to love you for you.
Well, exactly.
And
exactly.
penguin included.
It was one of those things, man. It felt funny at the time. I think I lost a bet, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll do it. I could obviously have got out of it, but it's really weird as well. Like a penguin, and he's got like headphones on. I don't know why.
That's
it's
cute.
A penguin with headphones on my arse cheek.
So he can't hear,
so
he can muffle out the sound of you
farting.
Getting the word. Fuck. What are you thinking over there?
But with the song, is it challenging to sing live because the chorus is very big?
It's fucking hard, man. It's really hard. It's like times, like I remember the first few times I sang it, and I just thought, like, I've written this. Why didn't I just write it a bit easier? You know what I mean? It's definitely the most challenging song I've ever had to sing vocally. But with that brings its own challenge. It gives me an opportunity that when I am on the ball, it gives my vocal a chance to shine, which actually on the other songs, there's not loads of moments like that. Sometimes I kind of hide behind the melody, or have done in the past, whereas there's no hiding behind a chorus like that. So it is hard to sing, but but it's almost more nerve-wracking because you understand the kind of what it takes vocally. So kind of getting yourself into that mental prep, you're always thinking about how big that chorus is.
Did this song feel different when you were writing it in terms of like, because now your label thinks it's a single, it is much bigger. Did it feel different when you were creating it?
I distinctly remember when we landed on the chorus melody, and I think at that time we had the title when we're going on the day of writing it, and it did feel really exciting because, like I said, I didn't have a song like this on Walls, so I had a really good feeling about that song from the off. I probably shouldn't share this, but fuck it. Like when I first played it to record label, like a couple of them actually said that it was like too alternative. Now, when you hear the rest of my record, I think Bigger Than Me is one of the more, I hate using this word, one of the more pop moments, one of the more slightly more down the middle moments. So it was kind of, it's funny the way that sometimes I feel like you just put a few guitars on something and record labels just go, oh, now it's alternative. But
that is true.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. But you know, I had an amazing feeling in the room on that day, but I almost feel better about it now, only because I've had a couple of times, not loads, but sometimes when you have a really good atmosphere in the room when you're writing, it can properly blind you, and you'll think you've written an unbelievable song, and then you come back to it in 2 days' time and it's just nowhere near as good as you remembered. So I have been conscious of that feeling of kind of being excited in the studio and hoping that actually it's as good as you think it is in that moment. But yeah, I feel really good about this song.
I do see you as more of an alternative artist. I don't
Thank you.
want to put music or art into any box, but like when I saw the show, listening to Walls, listening to what I have of this new body of work, alternative.
Yeah, here's the thing. That is who I am as a person. It's who I want to be as an artist. It's perception, man. People have this preconceived idea of who I am as an artist before they've even heard a song of mine. So that is what I'm up against. You know, like for example, even trying to get on like alternative radio over here, like in the UK, like no fucking chance. It's so fucking hard. Really fucking hard over here as well because of perception, and those things are challenging for me coming out of One Direction. It's who I am as a person. Well, definitely.
Yeah, you are alternative, you are rock and roll. It exists in you, but also in your shows and the music. And I think it is twofold, right? Like here in America, the alternative radio format has gone to such shit that it's mostly a goal-driven format, meaning they play a great deal of old music that goes really far back in catalog. So when you look at like an hour by hour breakdown of like new songs to old songs, because they've destroyed the format as a whole, they've had to rely more on like playing fucking Weezer's,
right?
Blue Sweater or whatever the fuck for literally the millionth time,
right?
So it is perception, but also radio here has gone to total shit,
right?
It really has,
yeah.
It really has. But you are alternative. You create fucking music that is, and I don't want to put anything in the boxes, but like when I listen to your records, they don't scream pop, but also in the same breath, pop is not a genre. It's a collection of different songs from all formats that funnel into pop music.
Yeah,
Do you get what I'm saying?
I agree with that. I do think sometimes, and maybe it's the wrong kind of description, but sometimes you're right in what you just say about pop there, but I have to hear those words because instinctively it almost just means safe to me. That's how I interpret it in my head. You're right in what you say. But instinctively, kind of on the surface, when I'm thinking about something that is pop, because like even if I'm thinking in the context of a film, like if it's too pop, I don't mean it's too popular. I just mean it's too safe.
Yeah, totally. Too vanilla.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, very cookie cutter.
Yeah.
But you're not cookie cutter.
No chance.
People are shoving their fingers down your throat at concerts.
Yeah, it gets intense, man.
I've seen.
Maybe you just got to pick up a guitar and play guitar on stage and be like, now he's a rock star.
Yeah, well, honestly, do you know, sometimes this industry kind of is funny like that. That might be all it takes. I do actually need to. I've been playing guitar loosely for the last 4 or 5 years. I've stayed at level 1 for the last like 5 years, but I've been telling myself maybe on next tour I'll bring it out for a couple of tunes. Just about being brave enough in that situation.
You nervous?
Like anything like that, you know. It's I'm comfortable doing the way I do it now, so just to add another element to it would be kind of scary. But I can't. That's how I picture myself. Like in me, if I'm speculating about where I want to be in 5 years, 10 years, I've got a guitar in my hand. Ideally, it's just about being brave enough to get up and use it.
We started this conversation, even I think before we started on air, about you got to challenge yourself. You got to get out of your comfort zone.
Exactly that, man. Yeah.
It's how you win. It's how you grow. It's how you strive.
Yeah, I agree.
You got to listen to Faith in the Future, Louis Tomlinson's most recent body of work. There's going to be a link in the description below. Did you end up releasing the track list because Amazon Music leaked it by accident?
Yes.
I'm sorry. On behalf of Amazon Music, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone got a lighter? No, I'm joking. Although, honestly, it beggars belief sometimes, that kind of thing. You just like, I remember getting the call, and I'm just like, well, what the fuck do you mean? They've put the fucking track listing out there. So yeah, we had to just kind of jump the gun and go, well, here it is.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, it's what it is, man. It's what it is. Well, people make mistakes, I suppose.
Well, because people then get these titles and they're building stories, and there is hype around these records before they even come out.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know. I suppose it's good and bad. Instinctively, when it first then the titles first came out, I was devastated. I was not devastated. That's being dramatic, but I was frustrated. But you're right. Just get people talking about it. Just get people's brains thinking, what does this title mean, and blah blah blah. But at the time, I was fucking fuming. I'm not gonna lie. But it is what it is. I'm over it now.
We move on.
Yeah.
Faith in the Future is the album. I'm just looking at my notes here. Am I missing anything? Like, I mean, the mystery van. Do you still own the Scooby-Doo mystery van?
Do you know what's fucking so shit about that? Honestly, there's certain things when I was younger and I speculated what this world might be like, and it wasn't thinking about things like this. So me and Zane got it together. So I think I was like 20 and he was like 19. We got this white like builder's van and we wrapped it as the Mystery Machine. Do you know the irony? I don't even love Scooby-Doo. Like I don't mind it, but like it was just like a funny thing to do. So I was like, all right, fuck it. And we built like, do you know where the window wipers, the jet for the wipers?
Yes.
So it's like this big and it's got 2 little fucking nozzles. We had them on side of van facing out, so you could press a button on the van to squirt water at passers-by. It was genius, man. Anyway.
What? So
we'd had the van about a month, and then fucking whoever owns Scooby-Doo, God knows, some greedy fucker, sent management an email saying, unless you agree to ABC, it's a copyright infringement and you have to take it off.
What the but you're not making money off it. It's for your personal use.
I'm not going to lie. When we were in One Direction, the fact that One Direction are going around it, that's good promo.
Yes.
I don't care how big Scooby-Doo is. But honestly, like, and in the end, we just like, we spat our dummies out, me and Zane. We're like, fuck it then. We drove around in like a white builder's van for a while.
Because that's not creepy.
little bit suspect. But yeah, it was just a mad one. Like, greedy fuckers, man. Madness, isn't it?
Pieces of shit. Please listen to Faith in the Future. You and Zane are still friends, yeah? You got like there's a.
I think it was like this last interview, like last time when I spoke about it before. Are we friends? You'd have to ask him. Like I feel like I've. I think last time, I could be wrong, but I believe I said when you asked me a similar question before, I believe I said I don't think I'm mature enough to kind of get over, maybe I'm getting confused, but in my head I thought I said I don't think I'm mature enough to kind of get over what's frustrated me in that relationship. I don't know if I'm mature enough now, but I'm definitely closer to kind of being over all that. There's been numerous times over the last couple of years where I've thought about him and hoped he's all right. So, and I've tried. It's hard. I've tried to get in touch with him, but it's hard. Those kind of things. But I definitely wish him well. Definitely wish him well.
Well, he's been posting some clips of One Direction songs on Instagram, and you've been liking them.
Well, there you go. You've done your research there. Yeah, exactly.
The You and I high note.
Huh?
The You and I high note.
Come on, man. Like he's a different caliber in terms of singer. Saying definitely, I will say that. Yeah, and do you know what? Were really nice. That it wasn't just what's the word, like aimless. I wasn't just liking it for the sake of liking it. I'd say it was a nice feeling because, you know, in the past he said what he said about the band, and I understand some of what he was saying, but for me, that he on those videos, it showed he was reflecting. It showed he was thinking about those times. Of course, at the same time, showing off his incredible voice. But that's why it made me feel good, because it was like, oh, maybe you're thinking about good times in the band. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like as you grow and you look back, things do take on new meaning.
Yeah, definitely.
But also some end up seeing the past a little bit differently than others.
Yeah, that's true. I think in time. The thing is, we just have to bump into each other because neither of us have each other's number. I suppose maybe social media might be the way. But,
slide into the DMs.
Exactly, yeah, fucking hell. I think I know him too well for that.
Like a little bit. You drove in a white painter's van together?
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, we got way back, man. You remember me, right?
Remember? We got that van together? I gotta ask. That Liam Payne, Logan Paul thing.
You're brave. I fucking rate you for bringing this up, right? Remember what you're going to say, but I'm glad you brought this up.
Why?
Because my great fans that helped me not miss a trick, you know what I'm going to say? They said, and to be fair, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad, because when I first went online and I seen like the fans like saying, obviously, like you'd said something about Liam, I was like waiting for it to listen. It wasn't too bad. It was that one tweet, was it?
Yes.
Which you now obviously feel really bad for, because you know you're a good person with a good heart, and you don't want to shit on someone like Liam.
No, so here's the deal.
I'm joking. I'm enjoying watching you fluster, man.
he was expecting this and he was nervous. He knew it was coming.
Because truly, you know, when you look back at life, there's things you regret that you've said, and that is one of the things that I regret tweeting. Mainly because when you watch that video, you can see, if you really watch and you really give it time and you choose not to just live on the surface and look into his eyes in that video and really try to understand where he's at, it's somebody who's genuinely hurting. It's somebody who's genuinely confused. It's somebody who is still very much processing, is somebody who is still navigating life but also processing the past, and that's hard.
Yeah.
And I knocked somebody while they were, in my opinion, like going through.
You kicked him on the floor, essentially.
I did, and that's incredibly wrong of me, and from that moment I have learned completely, and I would never in a million years do something like that again, because really truly I tweeted while I watched on the surface, as opposed to really understanding what was going on there, and really what we were all witnessing.
And also thinking about the person, you know. And I hear
totally
what you're saying. And we all make the mistake of having these judgments when we watch videos or whatever it might be. And let me say, you know, this job is fucking challenging at times, mentally, very fucking challenging at times. And I know no one who's listening to this wants to fucking hear that, because you know we've got it good. I appreciate that, but at the same time, there are times where it is challenging mentally. And all I'll say on that, and I don't really want to comment too much on it, but all I'd say on that was, I think, which of those annoying Paul brothers was it?
Logan.
Right. He knew exactly what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing, the buttons he was pressing, and that's what I took away from it. I just thought whoever's involved in that show, that annoying Paul brother himself, whoever the other weird guys were, it just felt disrespectful. That's all I'd say. And it just and they got so much out of it, as if he ain't got enough already. I fucking hate them Paul brothers.
You
You've got the look of a man who's friends with both of them.
No. I can promise you right now that Jake Paul blocked me on Twitter. I am his greatest hater. I am the loudest. I scream on the rooftop.
Oh, that's great, man. That's great.
Oh,
that's great.
There's a special place in hell waiting for Jake Paul.
I knew I liked you, though.
Yeah, I appreciate you having this conversation with me, as I genuinely regret that tweet. And
as you should.
Liam Payne, I'm so deeply sorry. And if I see you in any situation or in a
if you
situation
see
like this,
him, you're going to
apologize.
You're going to apologize and also offer to buy him a new pair of trainers.
Whatever. That done.
Deal?
Done.
All right, cool. I like that. Nice.
Wow, just like that. Final thoughts here?
Yeah, this is your second album, and Take Me Home was One Direction's second album. Does it feel at all the same, or does it just like feel completely different going into a second album?
This whole experience has felt so drastically different to my solo career. I mean, to the One Direction days. Around that second album, we just had the amazing success of the first album. We, as a band, didn't really have that second album thing where we were nervous because it was already so big by then. Everything just felt different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would say appreciate everything more now, but that's also probably down to my age as well. I was dead young when that album came out. I must have been about 20, so
yeah,
like 10 years ago. But yeah, I would say the two feel kind of like very, very different. But now you've said that, I'm going to find the right time to listen to a bit of that album, see if I can get myself in that old dead space. Fucking hell, that feels like a lifetime ago now.
I can't believe it was
10,
12 years ago at this point.
Yeah, that's
insane.
It's crazy, man. That is crazy.
Louis Tomlinson, I appreciate you beyond.
No worries, man. Thanks for having me on.
Hopefully for every album, you find it in your schedule while you're...
Is that a dig?
Well, no, what? No, between Chattanooga.
Yeah.
And
Because I know we rescheduled this once or twice.
No.
Yeah, I thought that was a little dig. Okay.
Wait, you're so in the know.
Yeah, man.
Why are you're so...
Come on, man.
No, it wasn't a dig. I swear to you. And we can literally... You're one of my favorite guests to ever have on the show.
Thank you,
I thank you for always giving us not only like really incredible time, but the most honesty, and you come totally as you are, and I have an insane amount of respect and appreciation and admiration for you. So I just thank you for doing that, and then also thank you for being true to yourself and making music that is an extension of your actual being, and doing it because you feel like you need to, not because like the business tells you to do it.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. Well, thanks for having me on. And honestly, man, like I said to you before, like, it just feels dead natural, man. It's nice for me to be able to do interviews where I can feel like I can be completely myself. And also, I know a couple of them are probably still a little bit grumpy about that Liam tweet, but the rest of the fans, they love this shit, man, 'cause it's dead real. It's honest.
Thanks. We try, and
your fans have been asking for a follow-up from the first one for years.
Yeah, because that was great, man. That was great. Hopefully this one will be, that's good.
I think so.
Judge it in the comment section below, but also while you're down there, please listen to Faith in the Future, and you can listen to all of Louis Tomlinson's discography on Amazon Music, where we did leak the tracklist early.
Are you planning a tour for this album?
Yeah, so I just finished only like a month ago, 6 weeks ago, but pretty much 2 months into this tour this year, I said to my manager, let's try and get out as quick as we can, try and keep this momentum going. So I'll start probably middle of next year, but it's all nothing's kind of set in stone yet.
Exciting though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very exciting, man. I feel like I've finally got the ball rolling, so let's have it.
He's a rock star, not a pop star.
There we go, man.
Yeah, tattoo that somewhere next to the penguin. Louis Tomlinson, everybody. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.